So we're doing a bit of a new video today. You may remember, if you're familiar with this channel, that I just bought about $4 worth of new computer stuff, including my new Ryzen 9 3950X. Now, I have removed my old system, which was sitting on the corner here. So that's going to get relegated to my workshop, so that I can still connect to it via remote admin and slowly transfer all the software across that needs to happen. There's something like 2,000 programs to install. I'll probably put a link in the description here from the original video. It's an uncut video of nearly an hour and a half long, but that gives you some reference. Now, in changing this over, I thought I'd been running everything on DisplayPort. Apparently I was not. So I only had one DisplayPort adapter. So I've now had to buy my VGA adapter for my little monitor that hangs around up there. And I'm going to plug in my second DVI monitor on this thing. So let's go plug stuff in. Alright, the new delivery's arrived. The camera angle's different for this one. This is my new computer case. This is actually too big to fit in frame, almost too big for my desk. So let's get this unwrapped and take a closer look. Alright, let's see if we can get this thing up on the desk. So this is the Fantex P500A. Pretty sure this is the RGB one. Feels like it might be upside down. What have we got here? This feels like the bottom. See if we can get into it. Packed well. Alright, give me a moment. Alright. Here we go. So it's glass-sided. Would be interesting, but where I want to put this is going to be against a wall, so this might end up going in upside down. Figure it out. But it's got a nice little magnetic grill on the top. And lots of room for other stuff. It's quite nice. I might end up mounting this in an alternative position, I don't know. But this will be fun. But this will be a video all of its own. Now around the front we've got our intake. Now this doesn't seem to have any drive bays per se, but it doesn't matter because I can't get drives to fit the thing anyway. We're all using USB and network everything. Big power button on the top and some extra USB ports. Right, this will be handy. Delivery is a bit smaller. I'm pretty sure I know what this one is. See if we can get this open. Although we might need a different... yeah, we'll be right. We'll open it in front of the camera. Where are we? Yep, that's what I thought. More ration packs. These are Hunger Buster 24-hour packs. There's a few of them in here. And some flameless ration heaters. There we go, flameless ration heaters as well. Alright, this will be good. This will keep us busy for a while. Alright. And one of the good bits has got the Jack Links bars on the side. Oh. And I was leaning on the space bar. Alright. These all look good. These I've featured before. They're basically the civilian issue of the military ration packs. And they slide off the bench very easy. So let's get these packed away. Alright, well, something new has arrived. The case finally got here. Although the glass side faces that wall, so we might end up putting this around a different way. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure something out. To my eyesight being a bit dodgy today, I'm going to probably do most of this assembly off camera here, but I thought I'd preserve the fun bit for you guys. Now let's see if I drop it off my bench. My bench is not big enough for this. See if we can peel all the plastic off on camera. Because people seem to get funny about that. Alright, that bit's done. Let's get assembling. Alright, so we've got it mostly in the case, and this is looking from the rear side from the messy cable management. Although these little Velcro clips are magic, I have to say. They work really, really well. So let's spin this case around and check it out from the other side. Alright, from the other side we can see there's still some cable management to do, but by far a very clean look. There's still another fan to go in yet. There's a little bit of confusion about the RGB connectors, but you know, that's a bit of a first world problem. We don't really care too much about that. So yeah, let's keep plugging along. Alright, so it's badly backlit smoke test time. See if I've got the power button in the right spot. I clearly don't. Alright, it's badly backlit test time. Let's see how we go. Well, it's considerably noisier now with all the front fans. And everything's just shut down again. I know it's come down a little bit. There's some RGB stripping on the edge of the motherboard there. These front fans, I believe, are working, but the RGB's not. Not the end of the world. We'll figure that out later. But it works. It's in the case. And it's got, please power down and connect the PCIe power cables for the graphics card. Oh, that's smart. Thought I'd done everything, but this little 2-pin connector here is what I forgot. And I need to pull the plug out and put that underneath it to get it in. But we're almost there. Alright, so I think we've got them all properly connected now. Let's try it again. Alright. Now I messed up the order in which my DisplayPort connectors are on, so this might end up being the primary display, but we'll shuffle stuff around until it works. Something's going to happen. And that angry red light usually comes on when it's doing something in the case. Usually every time I change the hardware. Yep, this has been set up as a primary display. So that will probably decide that it can't display things on that monitor at that resolution, which is what was happening last time. But I'm happy to see that happen. Do we have any life out of it yet? I'm expecting to see something happen. And we're in. So number 3 monitor's not working, but we'll figure that out. I think I've got an idea for that. But yeah, we'll keep working on it. Alright, so several hours have passed. More than several hours. I still haven't figured out the RGB, but I've been a little busy. However, I've decided to do a few stats because everybody keeps asking. I've got core temp here. The temperature readings seem to be a little erratic at the moment. They're varying wildly. They were hovering at about 50 degrees on average whilst I was just playing a bit of an online game, one of the very few that I play. And it dropped to about 30 degrees on average with the case open. Now that it's idle, I want to see what happens when I open this magnetic case and leave it open. Now I'll discuss how the fans are working in here too. There are 340mm Noctua fans in the front here that are RGB style as well. I'll get them working one day soon. I now have this fan pulling in, this fan pulling out, and that one pulling out. This fan up here, originally I had thought about bringing air in this way to help cool them, which I believe is what I ended up doing actually. I don't know which way it is. No, it is drawing air up and out. So the idea being that any heat that is not dragged through here, that is convecting upwards, should be drawn up and out. That was my logic thinking. So we are bringing air out at the hot end, and there's plenty of venting here. If there's any negative pressure, it can easily pull cool air in from the bottom. There is of course a vent at the bottom where the power supply will be drawing air in through the bottom, and of course exhausting that out the rear. And I notice when I stick my hand in this little vent here, it's hard to see. I'm noticing there is some airflow being diverted downwards as well by this lower fan. So I think I've got the airflow worked out. The only thing I really have any sort of question about that some of you guys might correct me in the comments about is the position of this upper fan, whether I need to be pulling in from the top. But I don't want dust on there as well, so I'm happy to have it draw air up and out to keep the dust off. And of course, as the previously mentioned convection issues, I still have a problem with this monitor here, still thinking that the outputs are not compatible with it. It is a very old VGA monitor, but it works at boot, so I think there's a problem with that. I'm not real sure what to do exactly at the moment. I don't really want to do load tests. I didn't make this for wank factor. I made this for reliability, so I don't really tend to go and push it and overclock it and stuff like that. I'd rather leave it stock and have it run for the indefinite future. I don't really want to cook things. At some point I probably need to remove this cooler and correct the amount of heatsink paste that's on there, but while I'm getting temperatures of 30 degrees or so, I'm not inclined to do that. And that seemed to have stabilized around about a 26 degree mark, which I'm actually really happy with. So I'm going to close this door and then we're going to see if our temperature changes. And we're not changing the activities about what we're doing either. So we're seeing it spike a little bit, but it seems to fluctuate wildly like that. Maybe it does until the fan speed's correct and levels itself out. But I guess that that case door is on lift-off hinges, so I guess I can really just lift it off its hinges and run it without it if I really had to. Now, the solution to the viewing window. I was going to come up with a fancy idea of reversing airflow and putting feet on the top and mounting it upside down until one spanner hit me. This little socket up here, the power switch and everything is all on the very top of the case and not on the front like I expect to see them normally. And in fact, there's literally no front bays at all in this case. Call me old school, but it would be nice to have actually installed some peripherals in there, but first world problems. So anyway, when I'm not showing this thing off, I'm going to swing it round to the side in the wall where the old case always was. And when I want to show it off, I'll swing it up and block off my window view this way. It is a significantly wider case than what I originally had there, so it is going to impinge on desk space a little, but not the end of the world. So as you probably noticed, there's only just enough room to get it under my third monitor. So, and that's usually when I'm doing 3D printing jobs and stuff like that, or file transfers that take a long amount of time that really don't on this. I can shove the dialog box up on that monitor. So, and of course other monitors used for cameras. So now I'm going to pause the camera here and have a bit of a think about what I want to do first. Alright, so I decided I needed desk space back, so I've shoved it in its normal native position. And then I'm going to look at some USB extenders, USB 3 stuff, get this hub actually running. That probably doesn't need USB 3, so I'm going to put that on a 2.0 extension lead and save one of my 3s for something useful for my fly lead here. And I think I'm going to focus on getting third monitor happening. RGB really I couldn't care less about, but I did find that the motherboard has 4-pin RGB and the fans have 3-pin. So there may be some conversion needs to happen with that. I've got to do some homework, but for now, I'm going to try and get that working. Alright, so things got the better of me. I had to figure this lighting out. That and a mate suggested something to me. While I was connecting things up, there was this mystery SATA power connector I didn't know what the hell was for, and I just tucked it away until I could figure it out. Turns out that is the power supply for the RGB lights, so that might make it actually run. So I dug out my SATA power connector lead for the power supply and we'll plug that in and see what happens. Okay, something else while I'm in here mucking around. I noticed these RGB leads that I'd connected have become disconnected when I cable managed the cables. So I might join them up and tape them together as well. Alright, well, one of them is lit up. So that was that SATA power connector. So I think I have to unmanage all my cables down the side here and find out where it's not connected. That's going to be fun. Alright, we've got something happening. They're all free flowing. I noticed this is changing colours now, and I think there appears to be a strip on the other side too that I'm not going to get any enjoyment out of. Alright, so now then there's this mystery connection. That might be the built-in controller. Let's plonk this down here and we'll join these up whilst we're looking at it. That appears to be them. Right, so the colour cycling has changed. Let's bring this up over here. There are some buttons up here. I hope one's not reset. Let's try this one. So that is definitely an RGB thing. I've got to push it for a second and hold it. So that apparently is an inbuilt case controller for RGB. I'm not sure how that's meant to work, but I'll read the manual. If I hold it in for a while, see what happens. So I've just got to hold it in to cycle through the colours. That's not a bad colour. I'll leave it with that for now. Let's scoot this around the side a bit and see what's going on in the gap here. Alright, there is some kind of RGB stripping happening in there. Oh, there's a nice little line up the side here. I don't want to move this because I've got it in position very well, but that's pretty cool. Alright, I'll leave it like that for now, and I'll remanage these cables. Now, in the process of doing all this, I dropped my new 8TB drive off the top of this case, even though it was stuck down in blue tack. I've done a disk check. Hopefully I haven't killed it, but I might not find out until I actually fully fill it up and then I come across the bit that's been stamped. Although it was off at the time, and so I'm pretty sure the heads were parked. I might not have buggered it so much or at all, but you know, it's one of them things I stress about. Alright, so we do have extra drive bays here for what I think are SSDs, and there are a couple of additional drive bays that come with this. I may at some point put my 2TB mechanical drive in the bottom here somewhere, but for now I'm not going to bother. That's in the machine, the old machine that's out in the shed on the network, so I can just fire that up and access anything I need to from that. I'm going to get this side on, and I think I will figure this monitor out next. Figure this guy out. I am getting tired, so this is going to probably be a short video, but we'll see how we go. And we have success. And it was a really simple one. I had to have a bit of a think about, but I solved this one myself. I was running all three monitors at 60 Hertz. I figured I was feeding it a resolution that it's always been able to handle, but I figured there was probably a second variation that would cause it to do that, and that was I was feeding it a 60 Hertz signal. Strangely, when I bumped it up to 75 Hertz, it works. So I thought, to avoid some optical interference, I've bumped the other two up to 75 Hertz as well. If they start getting hard on the eyes, I'll bump them back to 60, because they were looking very good at 60 Hertz. So, you know what? Why not? Let's just run these two at 60 Hertz and see what they look like. We'll run one at 60 and one at 75 side by side and see what they look like. So, don't know how well that'll work on camera here, but I don't actually visually see a lot of difference. So I'm going to run everything at 75 Hertz. Probably going to make things a little bit more compatible. Alright, there we go. Okay, I have third monitor working. That's good, and I've also got Kerbal Space Program running. That's nice. That might be a nice test. I think I will bring up Core Temp, and then I'll launch a rocket and see what happens. Alright, we have Kerbal Space loaded, or Kerbal Space Program rather. I've chosen a rocket here that's got quite a number of different parts. It's probably the most elaborate rocket I've made, and it's also a brand spanking new save game. So I'm playing a science, not sandbox, so I haven't got all the parts yet. Anyway, we are sitting at about 45C. Nothing much is really working too hard here. Kerbal Space Program, and particularly this rocket on my previous machine, used to cause it a few glitches. but I've got quite the knack for overextending CPU usage in this game. So although I have played this for quite a while since I've got it, and probably the first game I've played in quite a while, and it's actually quite nice, runs quite smoothly, which I would kind of expect for nearly $4,000. Anyway, let's set Mech Jeb here because I don't like doing things one-handed. Let's give this a shot. See how we go. What's our system doing at the moment? Still sitting at 45 degrees, nice and solidly. A few cores are kind of working. Nothing crazy happening here. What are we doing? Yeah. Just get it to do a bit of workout. This will be mostly graphical load, I would expect. So while we're at it, we can probably go Alt Control Delete over the top of this and load Task Manager. I should be using screen capture software, but I haven't installed that yet. Let's check our performance. Well, our video card's 34 degrees so far. It hasn't warmed up in any way. Whoop, I lost my rocket. Get rid of that stage. That was nearly embarrassing. It's doing about 40%. Nothing's really working all that hard, but Kerbal's kind of my my metric for this sort of stuff. So let's have a look around here. Let's have a look in our... Oh, we don't have... This is a probe, so there's no cabin to switch to. Doing pretty well. It sounds like RCS is trying to stabilize it. What have we got as far as fuel-wise? Still on solid fuel boosters. Still sitting about 47 degrees. I think the cooling's quite able to keep up with it all. We're using about 10.4 gig of RAM. It's a bit more than my old system used to use on the default settings. I haven't upped the graphics settings. This is all stock settings as installed. My old machine, I had about 16 gig of RAM, and it used to use about 8 doing this. So, although I think I was using a Quadro card last time I tested. So here we go. What are we doing in the global view here? We're leaving the planet, but we're still going to crash back into it at the moment. See how we go. Probably going to call it quits after this because I'm tired and it's been a long day and hospital visits last night, and I've got hospital visits for a different reason in the coming days. Oh, did I disconnect that? No, there's another engine here. Okay, engine. Oh. I'm smart. I needed to actually turn the throttle up. It's not a solid fuel booster. Where are we going? So we're sitting like 42 degrees over here and 30 degrees. Well, I think it's certainly keeping up with everything. And I think we're out of the system. Almost. There we go. Turn off our RCS and we'll glide ourselves out of the system. I find warping often warms things up a bit. But now we're pretty good. Alright, so we're there. You know what, just because I need a bit of science here, let's just perform some experiments. All of these I've pretty well done before. That one, not that one, not that one, not that one. Yes, that one, not that one. Why not? One science. Why not? It's worth it. Oh, actually I put a lot more science on that than I thought. Okay, it'll transmit its silence until it goes flat. It'll charge up on solar. Anyway, in the meantime, yeah, we're looking at 42 degrees and 30 degrees. No real appreciable change from idle. So, and that CPU really doesn't give a crap what we're doing with it. It's not working in the slightest, really. Yeah. BISC is not doing anything. The RAM's all doing it for it. Well, I think I got my money's worth. I know I could put some more intensive games on this, but I'm not going to bother for now. I've got too much work to do. So let's exit out of this one and we'll call it quits for this video. So yeah, I've had some fun. We've got the RGB lights working. We've got our third monitor happening. Audio obviously works. It's kind of stupid that it's sitting on the side like that. Maybe I'll replace the side of my 3D printing area with an acrylic window. This will bother me eventually. I'll do something about it, but for now I really don't care. So nobody really needs to stare at a heatsink all day. nothing's going to move or change in there, so we'll be pretty real right. I'm just letting things cool off a bit, and they are coming down a couple of degrees, but really nothing major. So setting about 33 degrees, and for reference, if we go over to here, ambient temperature is about 19 degrees in here, 19.2. So Celsius, of course, not Fahrenheit. So yeah, I don't think water cooling was necessary. These are a nice cool chip. Alright, so I think I'll call this quits for the video, and I'll see you all in the next one. I hope it's been interesting. Hope this answers a few questions. If there isn't, ask them in the comments. Yeah, I'll find something else to do. See you in the next one.